Today's video is brought to you by Do Fasting, an app that combines all the methods and benefits of intermittent fasting into one easy-to-use app. Now, intermittent fasting, if you're not aware, is the idea that you can control your diet and weight by restricting the daily or weekly times when you allow yourself to eat food. It's very popular, especially among celebrities like Hugh Jackman, or Beyonce, I know it's Beyonce, but there's a lot of trainers and health experts that support intermittent fasting as well. Honestly, they're the ones we should probably be listening to. When done right, intermittent fasting can reduce your blood sugar, your insulin levels, LDL cholesterol, inflammatory markers, basically all of the stuff that you want to be careful about when we talk about personal health. So maybe you've just always wanted to try something like intermittent fasting, but you've never known how to do it, or you've had a bit of trouble forcing yourself to commit for just not eating for periods of time. Well, that's where Do Fasting, the app, comes in. You can download it by clicking the link in the description below. It works as your personal assistant to guide you through a daily fasting schedule, keeping you motivated by offering you useful tips and information to help support your successful fasting. It has other helpful features too, workout regimens and healthy meal recommendations for every part of your day, regardless of where in your fast you are. And of course, fasting might not be for everyone. There's nothing wrong with giving intermittent fasting a try and realizing it's not for you. But if you're thinking about ways to improve your health and diet, it might be time to give it a try. And the Do Fasting app is a great way to do that. And at just over $1 per week, it's also very affordable. Right now, you guys can click the link in the description below. Use the code TIFO, T-I-F-O, at checkout. You get 50% off a 6-month plan and an additional month for free. And now let's get into the video today. Is it GIF or GIF? The big important questions we answer here, you don't doubt that, do you? It is the single most profound question of the 21st century, a debate which has dominated intellectual discourse for more than 3 decades. Some of the greatest minds, the greatest big brains and institutions in the world have weighed in on the issue, from top linguists and tech giants to the Oxford English Dictionary and even the President of the United States. Yet despite 30 years of fierce debate, controversy and division, we are still no closer to a definitive answer to whether it's pronounced GIF or GIF. At its face, the answer might seem rather straightforward. After all, the acronym GIF stands for Graphics Interchange Format. Graphics has a hard G, so GIF must be pronounced GIF. Case closed, right? Well, not quite. As is often the case, things aren't nearly as simple as they might appear. The graphics interchange format was first introduced in June of 1987 by programmer Steve Wilhite of the online service provider CompuServe. I used to have a CompuServe. The format's ability to support short looping animations made it extremely popular on the early internet, and this popularity would only grow over the next 2 decades, with the Oxford English Dictionary declaring it their 2012 Word of the Year. As its creator, Wilhite should be the first and final authority on the word's pronunciation, so, well, how does he think we should say it? GIF. Yep, that's right. Despite all arguments to the contrary, the creator of everyone's favorite embeddable animation format insists that it is pronounced with a soft G. According to Wilhite, the word is a deliberate reference to the popular peanut butter brand Jif. Indeed, he and his colleagues were often heard quipping, "Choosy developers choose Jif," a riff on the band's famous slogan, "Choosy mothers choose Jif." And he has stuck to his guns ever since. When presented with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 2013 Webby Awards, Wilhite used his 5-word acceptance speech, presented naturally in the form of an animation, to declare it's pronounced GIF, not GIF. In a subsequent interview with the New York Times, Wilhite reiterated his stance. The Oxford English Dictionary accepts both pronunciations. They are wrong. It is a soft G, pronounced GIF. End of story. While the debate should have ended there, language is a strange and fickle thing, and despite Wilhite's assertions, a large segment of the population continues to insist that the hard G pronunciation is in fact the correct one. In 2020, the programmer forum Stack Exchange concluded a survey of more than 64,000 developers in 200 countries, asking how they pronounce the acronym. A full 65% backed the hard G and 26% the soft G, with the remainder spelling out each individual letter, G-I-F. This seems to agree with a smaller survey of 1,000 Americans conducted by eBay Deals in 2014, in which hard G beat soft G 54 to 41%. However, The Economist points out people often base their pronunciation of new or unfamiliar words on that of similar existing words, and the prevalence of the hard or soft G varies widely from language to language. For example, Spanish and Finnish have almost no native soft G words, while Arabic almost exclusively uses soft Gs. Those in countries that predominantly use hard Gs make up around 45% of the world's population and around 79% of the Stack Exchange survey respondents. Nonetheless, even when these differences are corrected for, hard G narrowly beats out soft G 44 to 32%. In the wake of Wilhite's Webby Award acceptance speech, many prominent figures and organizations have publicly come out in favor of the hard G pronunciation. In April 2013, the White House launched its Tumblr account with a graphic boldly announcing that its content would include animated GIFs, while during a 2014 meeting with Tumblr CEO David Karp, US President Barack Obama threw his hat into the ring, declaring, "It's pronounced GIF. I'm all on top of it. That is my official position. I've pondered it a long time." Many backers of the hard G pronunciation, like web designer Dan Cederholm, focus on the pronunciation of the acronym's component words, with Cederholm tweeting in 2013, "Graphics interchange format. Graphics, not draphics. Hashtag GIF, hashtag hard G, hashtag who cares." Not really, that last one I added myself, but truth. However, this argument ignores the many other instances in which the pronunciation of an acronym does not line up with that of its components. For example, while the A in ATM and NATO stands for automatic and Atlantic respectively, we do not pronounce them as AUTM or NATO. Many also point out, NATO sounds like how posh people would say NATO. Oh, NATO, darling! Many also point out that there already exist words such as jiffy, in which the same sound is pronounced using a J, but this too ignores exceptions such as the now archaic spelling of jail, G-A-O-L, meaning jail, J-A-I-L in the modern spelling. So if common sense and everyday usage can't settle the debate, then how about the rules of the English language? As noted by the good folks over at Daily Writing Tips, words in which the G is followed by an E, I, or Y, like giant, gem, or Jim, are more often than not pronounced with a soft G, while all others are pronounced with a hard G. According to this rule, then, GIF should be pronounced the same way Steve Wilhite originally intended, as GIF. However, there are many exceptions to this rule, such as gift, give, anger, or margarine. In an attempt to clear up the matter, in 2020, linguist Michael Dow of the University of Montreal conducted a survey of all English words, which included the letters GI, grouping them according to pronunciation. The results seem to indicate that the soft G indeed is more common, as many state, with about 65% using this pronunciation rather than the hard G. However, one thing missed with this argument is that many of these soft G words, like elegy, some words that we rarely use are rarely used in everyday communication. When this actual frequency of words is corrected for, the number of hard and soft G words commonly used becomes about equal. The fundamental problem with such rules-based approaches is that unlike many other languages, English evolved rather chaotically without the guidance of a central regulatory authority like the Académie Française. Consequently, English has little in the way of a consistent set of pronunciation rules, and the pronunciation of any given word depends largely on its specific etymology, common usage, or even the geographic region where it is spoken, to the bane of my goddamn life, Americans. Thus, so far as the GIF-JIF debate is concerned, the linguistic jury is still very much out. But of course, it wouldn't be America without a major corporation weighing in on the issue. Here we go. On May the 22nd, 2013, shortly after Steve Wilhite received his Webby Award, Jif brand peanut butter took to Twitter with a posting that read simply, "It's pronounced Jif," registered trademark. 7 years later, the brand teamed up with the GIF website Giphy to release a limited edition peanut butter jar labeled GIF, G-I-F, instead of Jif, J-I-F. In an interview with Business Insider, Christine Hoffman explained, "We now think it is time to declare once and for all that the word Jif should be used exclusively in reference to our delicious peanut butter, and the clever, funny, animated GIFs we all use and love should be pronounced with a hard G," and it's at that point everyone wondered why they cared. Alex Chong, founder and CEO of Giphy, agreed, stating in a press release, "At Giphy, we know there's only one Jif, and it's peanut butter!" I'm assuming he said it this animated because he's obviously very passionate about this issue. If you're a soft G, please visit jif.com. If you're a hard G, thank you. We know you're right. Yet, despite such efforts to force a consensus, the debate continues to rage and shows no sign of stopping anytime soon. While deferring to Steve Wilhite's originally intended pronunciation might seem like the most logical solution, that just isn't how language works, as John Simpson, chief editor of the Oxford English Dictionary, explains. The pronunciation with a hard G is now very widespread and readily understood. A coiner effectively loses control of a word once it's out there. As evidence, Simpson cites the example of quark, a type of subatomic particle. The word, derived from a passage in James Joyce's 1939 novel Finnegan's Wake, was coined in 1963 by physicist Murray Gell-Mann and originally rhymed with Mark. Over the years, however, the word evolved and is today pronounced more like cork, quark. More close to the web, the creator of the world's first web, Howard G. Cunningham, also pronounced this word differently than most people do today. As for the inspiration for the name, during a trip to Hawaii, Cunningham was informed by an airport employee that he needed to take the wiki bus between the airport's terminals. Not understanding what the person was telling him, he inquired further and found out wiki means quick in Hawaiian. By repeating the word, it gives additional emphasis and thus means very quick. Later, Cunningham was looking for a suitable name for his new web platform. He wanted something that was unique, as he wasn't copying any existing medium, so something simple like how email was named after mail wouldn't work. He eventually settled on wanting to call it something to the effect of Quick Web, modeling after Microsoft's Quick Basic name. But he didn't like the sound of that, so he substituted Quick with the Hawaiian wiki, using the doubled form as it seemed fit. He stated, "Doublings in my application are formatting clues. Double carriage return equals new paragraph. Double single quote equals italic. Double capitalized word equals hyperlink." The program was also extremely quick, so the very quick doubling worked in that sense as well. The shorter version of the name, calling a wiki just wiki instead of wiki, came about because Cunningham's first implementation of web's name was the original CGI script wiki, all lowercase, and abbreviated in the standard Unix fashion. Thus, the first wiki URL was http://c2.com/cgi/wiki. People latched onto this and simply called it a wiki instead of a wiki. So, finally, how was it originally pronounced? Well, that was wiki, rather than the more common wiki. However, given the popularity of the mispronunciation of the word, as with GIF now being popularly pronounced differently than the creator intended, Cunningham and others have long since stopped trying to correct people on the correct way to pronounce wiki. Going back to GIF versus GIF, in the end, the choice is entirely a matter of personal preference, and as with all language, and as many a linguist will tell you, how you use a word ultimately doesn't matter as long as you are understood, and few are going to get confused on this one. But if you'd like to pronounce it the way its creator intended, go with GIF, and if you'd like to follow the crowd like a sheep, go with GIF. So I really hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to check out our fantastic sponsor, Do Fasting, and thank you for watching.